Testing the audio now. I think I had a mistake on it, so just testing it, seeing if it's going to work. Testing the audio now. I think I had a mistake on it, so just testing it, seeing if it's going to work. All right, everybody, we're gonna get started soon. Sorry for the delay. Windows was forcing me to have an update. It wouldn't even let me decide. It was just like, nope, we're doing this right now, and it was a really long one. I scared Rich. No, we're having it today. We got it. Okay, let me do a couple of things here, and then we'll get started. Since I'm getting everything booted up here, so just give me a second. Hey everybody, hey Classic Dog, if that's how you spell your name, or say your name, sorry if I got it wrong. But we will get started very, very shortly. I'm just getting everything set up here. Sorry for the delay today. I had to get a computer update done in case you are joining us for the first time. Yeah, I did have a good birthday with my mom. Thank you, Rich. Okay. All right, everybody. So I've been well. It's been a while, or a week or so, working on a lot of things with the channel. A few little things that you may have noticed, just general updates to the channel. We had a video come out today. You can watch it, once the live stream is over, of course, if you want to. It's about the Circle of Fifths, which we had a live stream on before, but I cut the lesson up real nice and added a few things to it. So I think it's even better now than when we started. Not my birthday, Shesk. It was my mom's. Good, you're getting better at sight reading. Sight reading will definitely come in handy for sure. Okay, everybody, let me get this paper out. Today we're doing something a little bit different since, wait a second. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Almost there. Okay, so tonight's topic, which we'll get the discussion started on, is how to not give up on playing the piano, since a lot of us, I think, get so far and then run into trouble. So that's our topic for tonight. And we'll get right into it here in a minute once I'm set up the rest of the way. Okay. So going over some of the reasons that people give up on piano and then giving maybe a solution to those, I think one of the biggest reasons that people give up on playing piano is it's more work than they thought. So, you get this idea in your head and you're like, oh, I really want to learn this song or that song. And you go to do it and it was harder than you expected, or maybe you achieved some short term results. You were happy with those, and then when you tried something harder, you weren't as successful with it, and it was really frustrating to you. So I just want to tell you, first of all, that this sort of thing is perfectly normal. Nothing's wrong with you. What you need to do about this problem is start out slower. I mean, not just speed wise on the piano, but start out with songs that you might not absolutely want to play, but are easy enough for you to get the handle on. Because really, to play a more difficult piece, you really have to work your way up to it. You can't just play one easy song and then go to a medium song and then go to a hard song. It doesn't really work like that. You have to practice a bunch of easy songs, and then once you have a certain mastery of some technique, maybe playing scales and things like that, then you can move up to intermediate songs and then practice those for a long time, and then gradually work your way up towards the harder stuff. You can't jump from one level to the next and be successful. It takes a lot of time, and it probably takes more time than you might expect at first. And if it does take that long, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that, some of us it clicks, very few of us it clicks instantly. There's probably very few people in the world. It takes a lot of work for a lot of us. So just hang in there. What you're experiencing, if you are experiencing this, is perfectly natural. I really want to mention that a lesson book is perfect for this. So what you may want to do is go to, the link will be in the description, once you're done watching the video, of Alfred's adult lesson series for adults, as implied by the title. But anyway, if you get one of those books, there's 3 levels, I believe. If you start with the first level, it really guides you through the easiest stuff, the most basic topics, basic songs. And then by the end of the book, you're playing things like The Entertainer, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So you can go from really like just starting out to being able to accomplish something pretty significant. If you're a bit younger, then you might want to try, there's also a younger series of books by Alfred as well. And of course, Alfred's not the only one. There's the Piano Adventure series by Faber, and there are a lot of, I think there's John Thompson and a lot of other great ones out there as well. So, Alfred isn't the only one, but I really recommend starting with a book like that. And of course, my online academy, which you can learn about at my website, walks you through the most basic up to intermediate and then advanced. But it takes time no matter what. I think one of the second biggest reasons that people give up on playing piano is that they take shortcuts in the beginning and then realize later on that they have a huge gap in their knowledge and they're not able to proceed any further. So taking shortcuts can mean a lot of different things. It can be as simple as skipping over note reading. Maybe you learn the first few notes and you're like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm going to move right past it. Big mistake. It may be as simple as skipping over understanding of rhythm or something like that. But it can also fall into another category. If you take bad advice from some people that are out there that can promise you a gimmick that can deliver very short-term results, if you take that path and you expect to be able to learn any song instantly, that just doesn't happen. And I think if a lot of people take that approach, or if you take that approach, you will hit a wall with that. You might be able to play a very simple song right away and be pretty impressed, but you really need the solid foundation and understanding. And this also goes along with not skipping over your ability to read music or music theory or anything like that. Learning music, as you'll learn as this lesson goes forward, is really a commitment, but don't let that scare you. Don't let that make you think that it's too hard for you to do. So it really does take some effort. So don't take those shortcuts, because in the long run you'll just be really hurting yourself. And the worst scenario would be that you want to give up on piano because you studied for a few weeks of something where you could play a few songs right away, but in the long term you realize that you hit a wall and it's just impossible to continue. And if you have taken that path, you have taken some shortcuts, it doesn't mean that you have to quit learning piano. You can start learning the right way right now, learning, from the very beginning all the way up through some of the stuff that's really enjoyable to learn, some of the stuff you might not want to learn. But a lot of the stuff, in my opinion, in my experience, is that I didn't like it at first, like music theory, and then I really grew to like it. So make sure you give everything a chance. And I think a big third reason that people give up on playing the piano is they can't find the time to practice. So, like anything, I would actually treat it like brushing your teeth. You know, when you're a kid, you might not want to take the time to brush your teeth, but as you grow into an adult, you realize the importance of doing so, and it actually isn't so bad, right? Like, you just do it. In fact, at least for me, I like having a fresh mouth. So practicing the piano can be developed in that sort of way where it does become more and more rewarding as you do it and you really do see the value, but it really does take commitment. You really need to say to yourself, I'm going to practice, even if you're just starting out, you know, you're a really busy person, 15 minutes a day. And I'm going to do 15 minutes a day most days out of the week, 6, 7 days out of the week, no matter what, and stick to it. And if you do that for weeks or months at a time, you will develop good practice routines and practice habits, and then it will actually become a real joy for you to practice rather than something you fight against. And then, speaking realistically, sometimes in life, we do just get too busy for piano. I can perfectly understand that. And it is possible to kind of put it on the shelf for a while and then pick it back up. But as we're going to talk about further down the line, is that if you take off time from playing the piano, the longer you go without playing again, the more of a chance, more likely it is for you to not pick it up again, or maybe even pick it up years and years later when you actually had the opportunity to pick it up a little bit earlier. So just be careful of that. By the way, also on a realistic schedule, shoot for 3 to 5 days a week. I think if you could honestly fit in 3 to 5 days a week, most weeks, practicing, you're going to make some progress. Of course, 7 is optimal, 6 is good. And then as you get to 5, it's like 5 is like the okay range, and then 3 is the very minimal. So if you can squeeze out 3 days a week, I think it's definitely worth pursuing. And the fourth big reason I think that people give up on playing the piano is that they just simply get frustrated with practicing. They're practicing perhaps even too much. I mean, you can practice for hours a day and it won't hurt you. In fact, you'll gain a lot of skills that way. But you can definitely work if you're working at it really hard all the time, or if you're just really working on one song for months at a time, it can get really dull and boring. Now, you should obviously continue towards completing that song, especially if it kind of puts you on the road to getting to be a better piano player, or if it's a goal that you had. You do want to accomplish your goals, but it's not such a bad thing to every once in a while try something different. You know, play a different song, maybe play an easier song than you're used to, just so you can kind of cleanse your palate a little bit, do something a little bit different. And you can take some time off from playing the piano. I don't advise against that all the time, but be careful not to overdo it. Like I said, the longer you go without playing that piano, the more of a chance there is that you won't play it anymore. And we don't want that. That's actually what this whole lesson obviously is all about, is kind of keeping us all in there and sticking with it. It doesn't need to be perfect. Don't put, too high of expectations on yourself, but also have expectations and move yourself forward. So obviously it's all about well, hold on, let me do that again. So obviously it's all about balancing two things in my opinion, and it's commitment and not going crazy, or allowing yourself to breathe, right? So, commitment and allowing yourself to breathe. What do I mean by breathing? Well, breathing, right? Doing something other than playing the piano. Doing something you love, doing something, to kind of give you a break. So, you really have to be, I think commitment is the key word in this lesson. You have to be committed to it. And that's something that does develop over time. So, if you're just practicing the first few weeks and you feel like you're not committed, give it a chance. But there's also the other side to it where if you overdo it and you stress yourself out, you're not going to find playing the piano enjoyable anymore. And that defeats the whole purpose. That will destroy your piano playing days like that. So you want to take breaks every once in a while. Maybe a day or two is okay. But in general, you really want to stick to a practice schedule and a practice routine. And if you really follow the advice from this video, I think it will take you far, whether you are a very beginner, haven't really played the piano at all before, or if you're playing already, you've been playing a few years. I think there's some advice here that you can take in that will help ensure that you're playing for a long time to come, because that's what we all want. We don't really want to pick up the piano. Maybe you do, but I think most of us, we want to pick up the piano and continue developing that skill and learning more and more complicated and impressive pieces. Impressive in terms of other people, but impressive to us. It's really important that we make goals and, well, we set goals and we make them. That's what I mean to say. Okay, everybody, so that is pretty much the end of the lesson. So we're going to do like a Q&A now. My question for you, maybe you've left it in the comments and I just haven't had a chance to look at them, is what are some things I may have missed in this list? So in case I make another video like this, I can incorporate some of those ideas into here. What are some things that maybe you were learning how to play piano and it just made you want to give up, but maybe you stuck with it and got through it? What do you think are some reasons that people give up on playing the piano? Man, a lot of comments here. Okay, perfect. So Shesk has a lot of good comments here. I mean, so does Rich up there. How not to give up? Have the right motivation. That's true. It's something and that kind of goes along with commitment, right? Wanting to learn it and not having to. So he makes a very good point there. You make a very good point, Shesk, where you have to have an intrinsic value, meaning internal value in learning piano. But at the same time, you always want to push yourself a little bit past that. You always want to, if you really want to develop and progress a lot, you really have to go a little bit beyond your comfort zone, saying, okay, this is how far I'm committed, and let me go just a nudge further. So I absolutely agree with what you said, though. It's great. Seeing and feeling progress helps, too. I wanted to quit so many times. My entire family knows how to play. I want to be a part of the legacy. That's great. Lazy, though. It's summer. I actually just made it high school. Okay, perfect. Tuesday and Thursday, same. Thought maybe I could take some classes. Yes, I do get frustrated. I'll try playing piano tonight, so go for it, Michelle. And let me know how you do in the comments if you want to. I'd be more than happy to listen to you and listen to see how it went. Reading music is hard. How do people, you mean read so quickly? There is a lesson I made called How to Read Music Faster. You can type it in on the channel. It's one of the more recent videos I made maybe a few months ago, and it goes into detail on how you can use intervals, the distance between the notes, to read music even faster, and that's one of the big tricks to it. Sight reading, yes. You're welcome, Michelle. That's okay. We always have to start somewhere. We're not all experts in the beginning. I wasn't an expert in the beginning, trust me. I was really not good. I really didn't practice enough when I was younger, up to a point. Like now, when I was thinking about going to college for music, I really stepped up my game and practiced a lot. Okay, here we go. We're getting a lot of comments, which is awesome. I love it. And welcome, everybody, by the way. Did the stream freeze? Did it? It should be okay on my end. I don't know. Maybe somebody can let us know if it froze. It shouldn't be frozen. Let's see. Rich says, how do you stay confident in knowing that you're practicing the right way, especially if you're teaching yourself? So, great question, by the way. If you are following a method, like if you're following my videos from the beginning all the way up till now, you'll have a pretty good basic education without any real gaps in the beginning side of things, and early, intermediate, and things like that. In terms of like actually practicing and wondering, am I getting the results that I should be getting? That's really something that you might want to find a teacher to listen to you. I could even do it, maybe once a month, once every couple of months. Maybe just schedule a Skype lesson or get a private teacher for, if you can't afford it ongoing, because those can be pretty expensive. Just get somebody every once in a while to listen to you and say, oh, hey, you're making this kind of mistake, or just ask you, how long have you been working on this song, and have them listen to it, and then have them tell you, whether you're on the right track, what you need to do. Just probably a half-hour lesson every once in a while would do really well with that. And then in terms, you could also do a lesson book. Like I said, follow a lesson book, and that will guide you through easy songs to more advanced songs. But you're right, like how would you know if you are playing those songs correctly, like with the right technique and things? And only a teacher really can do that for you. Okay, good. I'm glad the stream didn't freeze. Might be my connection. Sometimes, Rich, if you click the back bar, you have to like move it all the way forward for it to be exactly where we are. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Michelle says this is actually one of the first live streams I watched on your channel. Can you tell me more about your channel? I've watched most of your videos though. Great question, Michelle. My channel is all about, I've done a lot of thinking about this recently, and it's just developed over the years. This channel is all about giving people all around the world the opportunity to learn piano and music. But really, what do I mean by that? Well, it's really for beginners mostly. So there's going to be a lot of stuff for people who have never touched a piano before, people who are taking their first steps playing piano. So things like reading music, the layout of the keyboard. Now, obviously, I've made quite a few lessons on both of those things. So nowadays, I put out tips videos, kind of like this one, how to not give up on playing piano. It's perfectly suitable for beginners and actually people of all levels. But this channel and where I want to go with it with the future is really geared towards beginners. Not only just getting the very beginning piano education, but getting you through the humps and the difficulties that we have moving from a beginner piano player to an intermediate, in the middle level, to a more advanced level. So this is really just beginners and then the bridge for you to the next level. So that's what the channel is all about. You can expect piano lessons, music theory lessons. You can expect videos where I ask you questions. You can expect, and ask for your input. And you can expect lessons like this, like tips on how to not give up on playing piano. Hi, I just wanted to say, let me see if I can get your name right. Macyak? Nope. I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. Hi, I just want to say thank you so much for these videos. I can't afford actual lessons, so your videos have been really helpful. And thank you for saying that as well, and thank you for your nice comment. You're very welcome. And that's another thing I was going with that I forgot to mention, is it's really also for people who can't afford a piano education, or maybe you can, and you just need some extra help on some things. So it's really for everybody, if you're a beginner wanting to move in and get better. How about recording yourself, for example, once a week and sit down once in a while and view those recordings and see if you really improve. That would motivate too. That's a really good one, Shesk. I didn't think about that when I was answering Rich's question. So absolutely, you could record yourself and then later listen to your recordings and say, okay, a month has passed and I've been working on the song. How much better is it? And then listen to a professional recording. That's actually another method if you can't afford a teacher. Listen to a professional recording. Say, okay, how is my playing now that you compared it with how you played a month ago? How is it now compared to how a professional plays it? What are some things I notice in their playing that I'm not doing? Oh, sorry about that. Allergies. Very good, Michelle. I think that will work nicely. Yeah, Rich, you were, at least from what I could see, a little bit too close. That's a very common problem, by the way. I do that once in a while. You really need to back up. And I think next lesson is how you sit at the piano. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in terms of where your arm should be. I still need to set up the camera set up for that. Hopefully I don't run into too much trouble. Thank you, Shesk. Very nice. This is a great discussion in live stream. I'm really glad I could pick out a topic that so many people are interested in and it works for so many. I really think, like I said, gearing the channel, because for a while I was gearing the channel. I was like, okay, I've done beginner lessons. Now I should do intermediate and advanced, even though a lot of those are on my website. I have a lot more lessons on my website, by the way. But I was thinking then it's probably better if I keep the channel at the beginners and then help bridge that gap. So that's what this lesson's all about. So it really means a lot to me that a lot of you have been getting a lot out of it. Yes, my back gets tired. That's very true. I will try to discuss backs getting tired in the next video. Your keyboard is too high and your chair is too low. Okay. So if you're, and we can talk more about this next time, but if your, let's see, if your stand is adjustable for your keyboard, or if you can put it on a different table if you're doing that, do that, and then just try to find the best combination possible for that. Generally, I mean, the chair doesn't need to be much lower than the piano. Your knees need to be able to slide. Like if you got really close to the piano, which you don't want to play like that anyway because it kind of gives you triceratops arms. But if you get really close to the piano, your knees should fit underneath the piano and not bump them. So that's generally what you're going for. But they shouldn't be like way, 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 way lower. Maybe like a few inches of clearance there. You want to be, like when you stick your arms out, you want to be a little bit above the keys, and I'll show you more about this next time. But like when you stick your arms out, you want to be slightly above the keys. You want to like stick them straight out and then just let them down a few inches. That's generally where you want to be with the piano. Oh, you're welcome, Michelle. No problem. So what does everybody think? Do you have any more questions about the lesson? Any more questions about not giving up playing the piano, or just any questions in general? We'll stick around here for a little while. Oh, and then I guess I should give you some kind of some place to go after the lesson. So once the lesson is done, I will post. This is a tricky one. So what happens is if you're new to the channel and how it works recently, and it's going to work for a while because I think it's working pretty well. We have the live stream, right? And then maybe the next week, so say today's Friday. So what we'll do is next Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I release the video, it will probably be of this live stream, but what I do is I cut it together, like I edit out all the sneezes and all the pauses and stuff. And I put an intro on it and then do like maybe like a little bit of a quiz with it, that kind of thing, make it into a nice video, and then I send it out. So that's when you'll see the real recording of this. But where you should go after the lesson is lessonsontheweb.com/newsletter, because if you sign up for the free newsletter, not only will you get a couple of exclusive videos per month, you will also find out what content's coming out, as well as learn about my website and everything. You mentioned college. Do you teach? Yes. So I teach piano. I went to Westchester University School of Music. I went there for 4 years. Have a degree. Have a bachelor's in music, a BM. And I have been teaching for about 5 years now, because I graduated from there about 5 years ago. And I've been teaching ever since locally. So I have about 30 students that I drive to. And I also do this online thing. So yes, I do teach. Rich says, how do you play pentascales and why is it valuable to know it? Well, I can't, I actually don't have the piano on, so I can't show you. I can show you in another lesson. So a pentascale, remember, I assume you mean a pentatonic scale, 5-note scale. One of the reasons we use it is that it has a different kind of sound to it. It's like almost a mix between major and kind of I don't know, it has like an uplifting sound to it. We'll have to talk more about the pentatonic scale itself in another lesson. Why is it valuable to know it though? Because when you're improvising, if you use that scale, it sounds neat. And if you're reading jazz or something like that, chances are you will see the pentatonic scale in there. Depends on what your goals are, though. Honestly, if you're playing classical music and that's all you do, you don't really need to know the pentatonic scale as much. I mean, it might show up on a rare occasion, but if you're playing jazz or you're improvising, that's where it will come in. Are they pentascales? I don't know, Rich. That's news to me. A pentascale is the first 5 notes of a major or minor scale. The pentascale gets its name. Oh, it is different. Okay. So, it's the first 5 notes of the major scale. C, D, E, F, G. Like if you're in G major, or C major if you're in G major, it's G, A, B, C, D. And that's just the first 5 notes of the pentascale. Or I guess the scale. It's just the first 5 notes of the major scale. So I don't know. I mean, it's good to know because it helps get your hand in position. Like if you're playing a song in G major, chances are your hand will start out, over that G major pattern there. But I'm really not sure. I'd have to do more research into why that exists. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap it up here in a minute, so I'll take another 1 or 2 questions. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and being such a great part of the community. You can expect these live streams for the most part. There is a schedule, lessonsontheweb.com/community. That's where the schedule will be. But for the most part, we have one every Friday and every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what you want to do, though, is you want to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, mainly because if I cancel the live stream or like tonight it got delayed, I will let you know, and so you'll have an idea on what's happening. Facebook, by the way.com. by the way.com. Facebook, by the way, the Lessons on the Web, you can just go to Facebook, type in Lessons on the Web, and the page will pop up. Or you can do Facebook.com/lessons on the web. I think it'll take you there too. Any updates on the podcast? I'm still thinking it through. There's a lot of things going on right now with the YouTube channel and the website. Definitely still something I want to pursue. I may integrate it into the live stream. So what we may do, I've talked about this before, is that we'll have our one on Friday, and then wherever I can schedule somebody to come in, we'll do the opposite day. So we'll do our normal lesson on either Friday or Sunday, and then the opposite day, whichever one we choose, is going to be the interview with that person or the discussion with that person. So that's, I think, is going to how it's going to work. But I really have to work out the details. But it is something that is definitely coming. It might be in a few months, to be honest, because I have so many other things to do. But it's definitely something I need to do for the sake of the channel, because it will really help you and other people in the community know about other influencers out there in the community. It will also help them know about us, which will be great for everybody. So definitely something we need to move towards, and we will. Not any real major updates on it, though, yet. Okay, everybody, so thanks as always. Remember that the lesson will be posted in about a week or so, all edited together, looking real nice. And yeah. Oh, and then sign up for the newsletter. lessonsontheweb.com/newsletter is how you get to that and sign up for that. Like I said, free lessons and all that other stuff. Are you going to Skype with other students? It was fun. Yes, we will do that again, and that will probably be a part of the podcast, having Rich or Shesk, be a part of that. We should probably do a couple more of those, though, before. So I figured out the best way to record those. Yeah, you're really welcome, everybody. And yes, definitely more Skype. If you missed that one, it was called, I posted it, it was called What Inspires You, or something like that, to play piano. It was a really awesome lesson where me and Rich kind of just talked for a while about really why we got started playing the piano and what inspired us to start doing so. You're really welcome, Classic Dog. And Michelle, thank you so much for coming. Yeah, me too. I vote chess for the next Skype too. Thanks for coming, Rich. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let me see if I missed anybody. Macyak, if it was, yep, that was you. And I think that's it. Sorry if I missed anybody if you commented early on, but thank you so much for coming out. And feel free to wait. Hold on. Michelle is lost. What are you lost about, Michelle? Oh, Michelle. So basically, it's like y'all are one big happy family who knows one another. So that's okay, Michelle. So what's been happening is Rich and Shesk have been to almost every one of these live streams. They may have missed one or two each. Um, so we know each other very well. So if you want to attend the live streams, I will remember you. I'm generally pretty good. Same thing with you, Classic. If you decide to attend more live streams, which I definitely welcome, I will probably recognize you and ask you questions, and then we will form that kind of student-teacher relationship. We are all part of this community and this family together, and thank you so much for being a part of something that means so much to me, which is teaching the world piano and music. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed the session. Have a great week. Oh, weekend, because I will see you on Sunday at 8 p.m. Feel free to stop by for that as well. And have a great one. Thank you so much. Oh, that's okay, Michelle. We'll also meet next Friday at the same time as well, 8 p.m. Or at least 8 p.m. for me. It was an hour, whatever an hour ago is for you right now. So for me, it's almost 9. Whatever an hour ago is from now on next Friday, same time we did just now, we'll be back again. I'm running out of batteries. All right, you're welcome, Chris. You're also welcome to come back as well. So have a great one, everybody, and good night.